Yeah, obviously, first of all, I just want to congratulate Fiji on a great game of rugby. Obviously, it was a fantastic occasion, and they certainly made us work hard for it. But overall, our overriding emotion is we're pleased, obviously, with getting the 4 try, particularly the bonus point at the last play of the game. Things to work on, no doubt, but overall, tough first game for us, and delighted to come away with a win.
So, Stuart, you couldn't have wished for a better outcome in the first game, but you will be demanding, I guess, work in key areas. What would those areas be?
Well, obviously we started well. I think our line-up held up well. I think a couple of scrum penalties we're going to need to have a look at because we didn't get as much clean ball from set pieces as we'd want. Certainly some scrum time. I think contact area, Fiji made it very difficult. They were very competitive at the breakdown, and we need to be a bit more direct, to be honest. And I think in the last 20 minutes or so, we were a lot more direct and we caused them more problems. And obviously, I think we gave away a couple of penalties that break down ourselves in terms of not running away. So we're going to need to address those issues, I think.
Chris, what was your analysis of the game yourself, please, and how key to finish strong and get those couple of late tries and take that momentum into the next game?
Yep. Look, we always knew it was going to be tough. You look at the world ranking, which Fiji are, I think, 8th or 9th. You look at the way they played recently, the results they had as well, and we always knew it was going to be a tough test with the emotion we had this week, with the opening ceremony, the first game kicking off the World Cup. There was a huge sideshow kind of going along with today, and I think the guys handled it well. Like Stuart said, we played well. We probably went a little bit off script after that first kind of 5-10 minutes. But all in all, to get 5 points in the first game is we knew it was going to come down to the last 5 minutes or so, not quite the last couple of seconds. But we're in a happy place, I think.
Charlie.
Stuart, some of the players, the replacements who came on, actually had very, very good games. That's going to give you a bit of a question mark now for your next match. Have they put themselves in the picture?
Yeah, I think they have. I mean, we always select one game at a time, so we've got no preset plan in terms of who's going to play in the next game. And obviously, I think, as you say, some of the guys from the bench really put their hands up, and that's exactly what you want to do. So we'll reflect on this game. We'll review it, we'll analyse it. We've a good sit down over the weekend. We've got an 8-day turnaround before we play Wales, but we know obviously the quality of the team that we're coming up against next week. It's a big challenge, and we need to be at our best, and selection will be a big part of that.
Stuart, how much do you think percentage-wise you'll have to improve against Wales?
Well, I think obviously we need to look at ourselves. I think, as Chris has said, Fiji. I think Fiji will cause every team problems. If I'm being honest, I think obviously they've got Australia next. I think they've got an 8-day break before they play Wales, and Wales obviously got a very short turnaround having played us. So we need to improve. And there's no doubt. I'm not going to put a percentage on it because it's about the 80-minute performance. And I think if you took my, opening comments at the start, if we would have asked for 4 tries and a bonus point, I'd have absolutely taken that at the start of this game.
Yeah, Chris, just a word from you on the performance of Mike Brown, who gave you some good impetus with his 2 tries early and late on.
Yeah, I thought Brown was great today, and that's what we expect. He tends to make the right decisions at the right times, whether it's the counter, and it's one of those kind of momentum-changing moments. He did it a couple of times. We were unlucky I think we knocked one on as well after he made one from a restart. But no, I thought he was excellent today, dealing with high balls as well. Last couple of games, he's back to his best, which is great to see.
Stuart, Ndolo was a real handful tonight. How do you think Anthony dealt with that challenge, both aerially and on the ground?
Well, he was a real challenge. I mean, if you look across the board, obviously he's the star of the Southern Hemisphere, but some of the other Fijians are stars of the Northern Hemisphere. You look at Kawera and Matawalu and these guys, the fantastic players in our competition. But Ndolo is a star of the Southern Hemisphere, and I thought Anthony did well. And obviously, the kick was a great kick from their 10, just over the back of Anthony's head, and Ndolo took his try well. And he's a phenomenal athlete. And the Fijians, once they get their offloading going, they're very, very difficult to stop. I was very pleased with our defence, our physicality in defence. I didn't think they broke our defensive system down too much, but we probably gave away one or two too many penalties at the breakdown. But I thought Anthony did well because he's a big man.
Stuart, what were your key messages to the side at half-time, and also in terms of injury update, please?
Key messages really were to play in the right areas of the field, keep our discipline, and trust that the game will come to us in the last 15-20 minutes. The bench obviously would make a difference, but generally just to be more direct. We were too lateral in the first half, particularly after the first 20 minutes or so, and I think the players recognised that, and that was generally the message. And I think when you saw the likes of Billy V come on and Mako, Sam did well for us. They give us a bit more direction. We got quicker ball. As much as Fiji tried to slow us down at the breakdown and make it difficult, I think that proved the difference in the end.
Stuart, just wondering, with the opening ceremony, what was that like for you guys? Was the stadium shaking where you were? How did you manage to deal with all that and keep the team focused?
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing was phenomenal, really. I mean, as an occasion for the players. I mean, even just getting off the bus, you know, we were a little bit early, but Twickenham was rocking when we arrived, and we actually couldn't hear too much in the changing rooms. I think the boys were just caged animals, really, you know, waiting to get out of the changing room, because normally we're out on the field warming up, but obviously you had to sit in the changing room. So I think that sort of built up the nerves a bit, and we took a while to settle. But I think it was the same for both teams. You know, we both had the same scenario to deal with, and Fiji made 1-2 errors right at the start as well. But no, we were pretty much hidden from it, really, which wasn't a bad thing, I don't suppose.
Stuart, were you surprised at the level of physicality?
Sorry.
Were you surprised at the physicality that the Fijians showed at the ruck? I mean, you've just said that you needed to play more direct. What message did you give your forwards at half-time on that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they did come hard at the breakdown, and I think that obviously they took the view that if they could stop us getting quick ball, they had a better chance of stopping us scoring. And you know, we need to look at some of the accuracy of our decision making at the breakdown and our efforts there, but also I think we were hard done to once or twice, if we're being honest, when I felt we could have got a quick ball. But Fiji played the way they did, and they made it very difficult for us. And they've got a team of very big, physical men across the board, and we won't be the only team who they'll cause problems to in this tournament. Of that, I've no doubt.
I'm not sure if this is on. It is.
Yeah,
Stuart, for a while in the middle of that game, it looked as if it could go horribly wrong when they got the penalties. Just wonder how worried you were at that time.
Obviously, it wasn't the nicest position to be in, to be sat watching them put pressure on us. But I was always confident that the players were in control. Obviously, we want to avoid giving the penalties away and allow them to get 3 points and 6 points. But I think it got to 18-11 at one point. But I didn't think they really broke us down defensively. So I was confident the players would play more direct, and that our fitness and our power and the bench would tell. And I was delighted that they did.
Stuart, are you worried about how the breakdown went tonight, especially second half, given that Wales may consider playing both Sam Warburton and Justin Tipuric?
Well, I think Fiji probably adopted a slightly different approach to the breakdown, in that they put 4, 5, 6 men in and made it very difficult when you put that number of players in the breakdown and come hard at it from all angles. So I think Wales have got a slightly different policy there, but there's no doubt it's an area we need to improve on. We need to be. It's all interrelated, isn't it? If you get quick ball, if you play direct, and you can clear breakdowns effectively, it's a lot harder to slow your ball up. So we definitely need to improve. And Fiji went hard at the breakdown and definitely caused a problem in the second half, but we'll address that this week.
Chris, it was a great atmosphere out there for Fiji. What do you think it's going to be like for Wales, and do you think England fans can get behind the team any more than they did today?
Yeah, it was phenomenal. I think from the moment we stepped off the bus, seeing just the rows and rows of people up on the stairs, a couple of sections back, it was phenomenal. And then obviously when we went onto the pitch, the stadium was full, which obviously normally people are coming in drips and drabs. But yeah, it was phenomenal, the support there, and I think it's just only going to get bigger and better, if possible. But no, it was absolutely fantastic. The chants around the place, I think it's the loudest I've ever heard the national anthem here. And that's something that gets all the guys up and ready to go. So no, it's a phenomenal atmosphere.
Stuart, I know Chris has spoken about Mike Brown, but just maybe get your take on Brown's 2 tries and obviously Bilavunipola, his display coming off with that essential score at the end for the bonus point.
Yeah, I thought Brownie was excellent. I mean, his ability to beat the first defender is a great trait of his, and he inspires the team by the way he plays. You know, he wears his heart on his sleeve, but he plays with such courage but pace and power as well. And I think he lifted the team in the second half and got the game by the scruff of the neck, really. As did Billy, to be honest. I mean, Billy had heard the messages at half-time, but more direct, and I could see the look in his eyes when I brought him on that, you know, he wanted to get the hands on the ball, and you've got to stop him. And when he's in that sort of mood, he's a difficult man to stop. And Mako as well, his brother, you know, they're both very good at it, and they've both done well and put their hands up definitely for selection next week.
Stuart, just wondering how critical you feel the fact that you were able to get the bonus point in the last play, how critical that will be to your hopes of qualifying from this pool?
I think it's a big it's a big try in the context of this pool, because you know, bonus points are absolutely invaluable, and because subconsciously as well it puts pressure on the opposition to go out and get tries, 4 tries against Fiji, and I'm sure Fiji will have something to say that against Australia, but also against Wales as well. So, as I said at the start, if you'd have asked me, you know, would I be pleased to win the game, I'd have said yes, and would I be more pleased to get the 4 tries? I definitely would have taken it. So it was a big last 5 minutes for us, and I think Brownie was virtually through, wasn't he? Got tap tackle, but Billy sealed the deal, so I was delighted for him.
Stuart, over here, back here. Can I just get your thoughts on the number of times the referee went to the TMO and the amount of time it then took the decisions to be made? The new technology is supposed to speed the whole thing up, but it didn't seem to today. Yeah,
I mean, I wasn't linked up to the sort of conversation between the ref and the TMO. The one thing I would say is that I was quite pleased he did when the 9 dropped the ball over the line and the try was been allowed. So, you know, it's part and parcel of the game, and I think we want to see accurate decisions. So I think the players just got on with it.
Yeah, I think one last question.
Stuart, you brought 4 subs on at about the 50-minute mark, which is quite early. Was this a pre-planned thing? And secondly, was the Jeff Parling thing an injury?
Sorry, I didn't answer your question. Jeff got a bit of a mild stinger, but he'll be fine. So his was probably the one substitution that was made that was injury. But it wasn't pre-planned. But we just felt momentum was beginning to ebb towards Fiji, and we needed some energy. But also we've got a very strong bench and trust it, and we can trust them, and we can trust them to come on and make a difference. And I think they all did that. So it wasn't pre-planned, but I think in the context of the game, I think it worked out about right.
Okay, thank you everybody.